Okay, fine. So let us start. So basic mathematical tools. We are going to start. The first topic is calculus. Basic calculus. What is differentiation? What is integration? Actually, many students face problems because first of all, this topic is very new to them and they don't understand what is the meaning. Why do we use calculus, differentiation, integration? Where do we use? Which formula to use when all these doubts are there. So we will clear all these doubts. So first topic will be this. Next topic will be trigonometry. 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 After that, next topic will be coordinate geometry. Coordinate coordinate geometry. Then next topic will be algebra. Algebra. And then next topic will be vectors. Okay. And one more topic, binomial expansion and approximation can come. So binomial expansion and approximation, that also we will take. All this comes under basic maths. Okay. So let us start. Today we will start with calculus. Calculus will take more time. So we need to start calculus first because starting from the beginning calculus application you will see in physics, right? And you should know all the important formulas, then only we will be able to solve problems. Okay, so let us start with the calculus first. And what I am going to do is, those who are enrolled for these courses, you will be provided links for writing the test. Once we complete some topics, like today we'll cover some calculus, some part of calculus. I will create some question paper, test paper, which you can write that test paper anytime you can write. It is your choice, your convenient time you can write. So 30 minutes paper will be there, 10 questions will be there. So initially you go slowly to try to see whether you are able to solve 10 questions in 30 minutes or not. And if you feel easy, then you can solve it before also. Maybe 10 questions you can solve in 10 or 15 minutes also. Right? But I am giving 30 minutes so that you can see whether you can solve those questions or not correctly. Okay. You give time right now and try to solve correctly. Gradually speed you can increase. Okay. So right now first focus will be to solve the problem correctly. You give more time, it does not matter. Okay. Calculus. So first we will start, we will do introduction of this. Introduction. Introduction of change. So first thing we should understand change. Why do we study calculus? Because we are going to see the changes. Every day we are seeing change. We are seeing our age is growing, our age is changing, right? And climate is changing, temperature is changing, so many things are changing. That is why it is important to study the change, and to study the change we need to study calculus. Okay, now let us understand what kind of changes are there. There are different kind of changes can happen in quantities, right? So in physics we study quantity. Let us say you are studying the distance or displacement or velocity or acceleration or any quantity which you are studying. You are studying the change of that quantity. Okay, and generally the change we are studying with respect to time, but you can see change with respect to any other quantity also. Okay, so you will be studying two quantities basically. Like in a graph, there are relation between x and y. So there is a quantity called x and there is a quantity called y, and you are seeing the effect of x on y. As x changes, y also changes. So this x is called independent variable. Independent variable. And this y is called dependent variable. Dependent variable. dependent variable. So y depends on x. We say that y depends on x. Y depends on x. So we write this mathematically. We write as y is a function of x. Y is a function of x. Okay. So when we write y as a function of x means y changes as x changes, right? So if x will change, y will change. Take example, for example, y is equal to x square, okay? Y equal to x square. If x changes, y will change, right? So y is a function of x or y depends on x, okay? Right. So two quantities are related with that, okay? Now let us understand when x change, y will also change, right? Depending on what kind of relationship it will change, right? So now there are different kind of changes. So we are studying y, okay? Y is the quantity which you are studying that. Y can be anything, okay? So y is the quantity which we are studying. So you are studying change in y. You are studying change in y. Change in y. We are studying. So what are the different kind of changes that can happen? Let us try to understand that. Suppose first kind of change is that as x increases, we are always considering x increases, okay? Note that. Sometimes you may also think x decreases, that is different, but let us consider that x increases always, we are thinking. So as x increases, how will y change? Y can also increase, y can also decrease, y can remain constant. So three things happens, okay? So as x increases, what are the things happen? Y can increase, y can increase, y can increase. Second, as x increases, as x increases, y can decrease, right? Y can decrease, y can decrease, or we can say that as x increases, as x increases, y can have no change, y can have no change. That is also possible, right? So y can increase in these three manners, okay? So if you change x, change means we are taking x as increasing, okay? You can take x decrease also, that doesn't matter. So we are taking x is changing, but x is increasing we are taking. So as x increases, y can increase, y can decrease, or y can remain constant. These are the three changes. So how can we plot this, okay? How can we plot this? So one by one we can try to understand this. So let us try to take a graph x, okay? X. Suppose if I say x increases, sorry, y increases. Now we are seeing only y increases, y increases. So y can increase in different manner. How y can increase? Let us try to understand. Y can increase different way. There are three ways y can increase, okay? Y can increase in three way. Y can increase three way. How? Suppose if I consider that, let us say x, let us consider x equal increase, okay? Equal changes in x you consider, equal changes. So suppose x increases little bit here, y increases like this. Then x increases equal amount, y increases more, right? Then x increases equal amount, y increases more. Like this, I have taken some point here that you have to understand. So I am taking equal increase in x, but y can be unequal increase like this. You have to understand this, okay? Right? So if I consider like this, so I am taking x, change of x is equal, okay? Equal change I am taking. Let us say this is delta x, delta x, delta x. I am considering delta x as same. same changes in x I am taking, but the changes in y can be different manner. One change is like this. So the change which is happening, increase that is happening, first time less increase, more increase, more increase. You can see the increase is also increasing. Are you getting this? Yes. So this is less increase, more increase, more increase. So the change in y is increasing. And if you try to draw the graph, what will happen? So if I try to draw this graph, you see this graph nature will like this. This type of graph will become. Yes. Are you getting this? Yes. So you are changing x, delta x, let us say equal amount of change in x. But the change in y is increasing. So this kind of increase in y is called increasing. That means the change that is happening is that increase is also increasing. Suppose for example, like this, initially, suppose y, this change in y is 2, then 4, then 6, then 8, like that changes will happen in y. Okay, so suppose this change is, let us take this change as 2, then this change is 4, this change is 8. Some example I am taking. So the idea is that this change will be more and more and more. It is not equal changes, okay? Unequal changes is there, but this change will keep on increasing. So we can say that the y is increasingly increasing, okay? Y is increasingly increasing, increasingly increasing, increasing. Okay, what does that mean? Hmm? Very interesting, right? Y is increasingly increasing means increase is definitely happening in y. The change of y that is happening is definitely positive because it is increase. Okay, in all these cases, first case we are taking here. So when we say y is increasing means delta y is positive. Delta means change. Okay, delta means change of y. So y change of y will be positive. Second case we'll see afterward where change of y will be negative. Okay, and third case no change means delta y becomes 0. Okay, so we are taking the first case where y increases means delta y will be positive. This is the first case we are taking, and now we are seeing how y is increasing. That is what we are seeing. So y is increasing means this is increasing. Okay, there can be another case also. Let us say y is increasing but this gap is decreasing. Okay, take the another sub case here, like you take for example, initially the increase was more, so you have taken this delta x. Okay, and let us say it is like this. Next delta x when you take, this is like this. Next delta x will take, it is like this. Okay, so now if you see these points will tell you the story, what is happening actually. Okay, so you try to join these points, this point, this point, this point. Here also increase is happening. So this is the increase, next increase, next increase. Delta x is same here. This delta x is same. Okay, but how is y changing? That change is decreasing. This is like 8. Example we are taking 8, then 6, then 2, like this it is. Okay, so this increase that is happening, that increase is decreasing. Okay, that increase is decreasing. So you can say that here what type of graph will be, if you try to draw the graph, you try to join this point, it will be like this type of graph will come. Okay, so this type of graph means it is increasing, definitely it is increasing. So delta y is positive here also, but the change that is happening is decreasing. Okay, so what we can say here is that this graph means y is decreasingly increasing. Y is also increasing, but that increase that is happening, that is becoming smaller. Okay? that is small. So these two things happens, right? One more thing will happen here also. So we have seen one increasingly increasing, decreasingly increasing, and then another way, another thing is equal increase is happening. Okay, equal increase. So let us say delta x I have taken, this is delta y. Again I have taken delta x, delta y. Again I have taken delta x, delta y. So that means now we are taking this delta x equal interval, the increase is same. Let us say for example, this is 4, 4, 4. So now when you try to join these points, these points, these points, these points, when you join this, it is going to be straight line. That is what we have to know. Okay, this is also increasing, but equal equal increase is there. Okay, so we can say here that it is increasing also, but it is increasing equally. Y is equally increasing. Y is equally increasing. So these are the three possible increase, right? That's all. So in the entire world, if a quantity is increasing, this is the only three possibilities. Okay, it can increasingly increase, it can decreasingly increase, or it can increase equally. That means it's a constant rate. Okay, that is what it is. This is very very fundamental. Whether a student is NEET or JEE student, this is the most fundamental concept. Okay. So now you can understand what is happening. Increase is happening, but increasingly increasing, decreasingly increasing, equally or constantly increasing, constant rate. Okay. So now you will understand why we need to study the dy by dx. Why we have to study dy by dx? Now you will understand, because here that dy by dx means equality. It is going to be constant. Slope is going to be constant. Okay, but here the slope dy by dx, it is decreasing, so slope will be decreasing here. Okay, and here slope will be increasing. So that the what is changing, we know why is increasing, but how do we say it is increasingly increasing, decreasingly increasing, equal increasing? That is what is slope dy by dx. Okay, that is the slope. So here you can say the slope dy by dx is going to be constant. In this constant, slope is going to be constant here. In this case slope will be negative. Dy by dx is going to be negative for this case, and first case dy by dx will be positive. Are you understanding this? Yes. Okay, so this is what it is, dy by dx. We will understand more about dy by dx, but this is increase we are saying. Similarly, we can study about decrease. Suppose y is decreasing, so delta y will be negative. So let us now see, if a quantity is decreasing, then how it can decrease. So let us take second case. Delta y is negative, y is decreasing. So decreasing means as x increases. So we take for example, initially let us say x is like this. Okay, suppose some delta x we have taken. So y will be decreasing. So it is decreasing. Let us say like this. Then next same equal delta x you have taken. It is more decreasing. Like this you can take. Okay. Then same delta x, it is more decreasing. Like this case you can take. Okay. So in this first case, we will get some point. So this will be as delta x. This is this point you will get. Then delta x, y will be change in y will be this. Then more change will be happen. Okay. If this diagram is not, so you may draw a clear diagram. Okay, clear diagram to get a better idea. So this I am doing, then it is going like this. Let us see. Then I am taking the same delta x, is going little bit more. Then I am taking some more, then it is going some more, like this. I think this will be better. These points now we have to connect. Okay, so if you connect these 3 points using a graph, we'll get the nature of the graph. Okay, the nature of the graph here will be like this. Okay, roughly rough diagram when you draw it will be like this. Okay, this type of, this is a decrease only, this is decrease, but that decrease that is happening is more decrease is happening, more decrease is happening, right? Similarly, uh, so what you can say, more decrease is happening, so the decrease is increasing, right? So this decrease in increasing means, let us take for example, this is delta x. uh, So let us take this as delta x. Delta x we are keeping equal. Okay, delta x change in x we are doing equal, but change in y is going to be different. So first time let us say change in y is 2, next time it is 4, next time is 6, like that it will happen, right? So like this. So what do you say, that it is increase increasingly decreasing, or it is decreasingly increasing? Ah, yes. More decrease is happening. So the amount of decrease is increasing, right? So it is decrease only, but it is more decrease is happening. So we can say that it is increasingly decreasing. So here y decreases, but here it is increasingly decreasing. Y is increasingly decreasing. Y is increasingly decreasing. Decreasing. Okay. Similarly, next case also you can take where y decreases, but decreasingly decreasing is also possible. Let us take that, decreasingly decreasing. So if I consider initial, initial decrease was more, then less, then little less, like this. Okay. So here also we will get some points, this point and this point. Okay. Let us try to join this also, you can take initial point. So if I do like this type of graph I will get like this type of graph. Okay. So here again delta x we can take, same delta x is there, delta x is same delta x, but delta y is different. So first case delta y, let us say it was 8, then it was 6, then it is 4. Correct? So y is decreasingly increasing in this case. Y is, sorry, decreasingly decreasing, right? Decreasing only, yeah, decreasingly decreasing, decreasingly decreasing. Right. Hmm. Then another case that equality decreases. That's also right that. So if you take equal changes, so here, equal changes, this will become a straight line now, right? That's a straight line. So here y is equally decreasing, y is equally decreasing, or the rate of decrease is constant. Rate of decrease, rate of decrease, which is nothing but dy by dx, that is going to be constant. That rate is called slope, right? That is what is the slope. So this slope is going to be constant. Okay, that's what it is. So, and the third case where there is no change happens, That third case where there is no change happens, no change, no change in y means delta y itself is 0. And if delta y is 0, then you don't have to study because y is constant. Y is constant. Okay, so this whole calculus is based on this thing. Increasingly increasing, increasingly decreasing, or equally increasing, similarly decreasingly decreasing, decreasingly increasing, or constantly decreasing, right? So that's what. So now we will understand what is the concept of dy by dx mathematically, and then what is double differentiation, right? So that means what is single differentiation, what is double differentiation. Once this is over, then formulas of differentiation, and then properties of differentiation, and then we'll wind up. Okay, so did you had your I think he left it. So okay, means everybody cannot stay, right? So we'll wind up by 11 o'clock. Okay, we will not stretch it because morning we have to wake up also. Okay, so let us do that. Okay, so what is meaning of dy by dx? Let us understand meaning of dy by dx. So suppose if there is a graph between x and y, and there is a graph, any type of graph, it doesn't matter. Suppose there is a graph, and suppose if there are 2 points here, point A, and here point B. 2 points are there. Okay, and let us join these 2 points. Let us join these 2 points by a straight line. This line is called secant line. Secant line. Okay, because this line is cutting the graph at 2 points. Okay. Now, suppose this point is x1 comma y1, or let us say this is x comma y. So if I want to go from this point A to point B, I need to change x, and I also need to change y. Correct? So both the things are coordinate I have to change. Let us call this change in x as delta x. Delta x. And change in y, let us call this as delta y. This is perpendicular. Okay. So delta x and delta x is the change in x, delta y is change in y. So final coordinate here will be x plus delta x, and this will be y plus delta y, right? That is what it is, final coordinate. So these are two different points because you have changed the coordinates and you are going along the graph. Note that you are moving points on the graph. Okay. So I think you have this idea that what is called the slope of a straight line. Suppose there is a straight line. Okay, this is a straight line, and this is straight line. If you consider, then this angle theta, let us consider is anti-clockwise. This angle theta. Okay, or suppose this is theta 1 and this angle is theta 2. This angle is theta 2, this angle is theta 1. Let us just consider this angle theta 1, theta 2. So the slope of line is equal to tan theta 1 or minus tan theta 2. So either you can take positive tan of theta 1 or negative tan of theta 2. That is the slope of the line. Okay. So similarly, if I calculate the slope of this line, note that in this line is making an angle, right, with this x-axis, because this direction is x-axis direction. Okay, so you can take this angle as theta or you can take this angle as theta. They are same angle, right? So now you take what is the slope of this line. So slope of this line, slope of secant line, secant line is equal to tan theta, tan theta. And what is this tan theta in this triangle? That is delta y by delta x, delta y by delta x, correct? That is the slope of a secant line. Secant line is a line which cuts the graph at two different points, right? Two different points. So that is called the slope of secant line. Now let us understand what is dy by dx from this graph. Now suppose if point B and A become very close to each other, still they are different but it is becoming very close. That means this delta x is almost going to be 0 and delta y is also going to be 0. Uh, both will go right to 0. So that means what? Let us consider this graph x and y, and this is the slope, this is the graph. Now you consider these 2 points as the same point, although these points are different, but you are going to consider this as A and B are almost going to be same point, okay, almost. Now if I draw a tangent, suppose if I draw a tangent, so it will be like this, right, like this, okay, and this will be making some angle theta with the x-axis. So this line is now called tangent line, tangent, tangent line. When can this secant become tangent? When delta x becomes almost as 0, right, okay, or delta x becomes 0, or delta y becomes 0. So when delta x becomes 0 or delta y becomes 0, so that means you may imagine, that there is a very small triangle is forming, right, like this way. This is like delta x, instead of delta x you can write as dx, and instead of delta y you can write as dy. Very small triangle is forming, okay, and this small triangle, that theta is the same theta here, right, so that is the same angle theta here. So now we can say that the slope of tangent line, tangent line which is tan theta here in this small triangle, very small triangle, that is what is dy by dx. Clear? Yes. Yes. Yeah, we will take that. So let me finish this one. 2 minutes. Okay. I will just 2 minutes finish it. So what is dy by dx means when we apply limit delta x tends to 0, this ratio delta y by delta x. This ratio, that is what is called dy by dx. Clear? Okay. So that's the concept of dy by dx. So dy by dx means delta y by delta x, which is the secant line, has now become a tangent line. So dy by dx is the slope of the tangent line. Okay. Delta y by delta x was the slope of secant line, and dy by dx is the slope of tangent line. That's what. Okay. Done. Okay, so we will take the doubts. So let me this stop this recording, then your doubts I will take